The offspawn is one of the most crucial points of the game. Let's look at some quick fundamentals to help you get better at winning your offspawn fights. Let's first look at mastering your drop. One of the most crucial aspects for mastering your drop is having a drop map. A drop map is where you mark out the exact places where you want to pull your glider in order to get the exact drop for your POI. You can either do this by queuing up solo matches and dropping in, or you can just mark your good drops on a map over time as you land at your chosen POI. Having the best drop map is integral for being able to loot before your enemies, and it speeds up your total looting time. But before you land, there's one more thing you have to do. Make sure you check where all of your enemies are landing and map it out in your head. If you're uncontested, then the rest of the offspawn is simple. Just loot up quickly and rotate out of your landing spot as soon as you can, ideally before the first zone starts to close. If you're contested, it is a little bit more complicated. The most important part of winning your offspawn fight is creating an advantage. This can be done in many ways. The first way we have already covered, and that is having the best drop. If you can win a 50-50 on a floor spawn by having the best drop, you can sometimes win the offspawn fight immediately. You can also land on a higher loot density areas by having a better glide. This will give you a loot advantage and potentially a materials advantage, which you can use to win your offspawn fight. The next way to get an advantage on your opponent is by starting the fight with a surprise damage attack. There are tons of ways to do this, and it is extremely dependent on your landing spot. You can hide behind stairs or rocks or whatever you can find. The other way to create a HP advantage is by going on the aggressive and crouching up to your enemy. Many times your opponents are not expecting you to crouch up on them, and you can oftentimes find free kills by just getting this surprised. This is where knowing where your opponents landed is so important. If you know their location and they don't know yours, you are significantly more likely to start the offspawn fight with an advantage. Now that you have created an advantage on your opponent, you can start trying to finish off the kill. The most important part here is that you don't get too greedy. Make sure that you're still taking safe right shoulder peeks, and make sure that you're still maintaining your advantage by applying pressure on your opponents. Don't let your enemy get any time to breathe and heal and find more loot. Your goal is to jump in and finish off the fight before your opponent can turn it back on you. Hopefully at this point you've already won your offspawn fight, so what do you do from here? Most importantly, you need to farm your materials back. Most of the time when you fight off spawn, your materials will be very low, so make sure you don't forget to loot up and farm up. Next, look for mobility. You should know exactly where a car or quad crashers or Spider-Man gloves are, so you can rotate out quickly and find a great spot to position in for the mid game. The number one conclusion that you should take away from this video is that you need a plan. You need to know exactly how you want to loot your POI and how exactly you want to contest your POI. If you are prepared for 99% of the off-spawn scenarios you will face, you will win 99% of your off-spawn fights. So make sure you know exactly what needs to be done for you next tournament. With that being said, thank you all for watching, and peace.